Hello, welcome back to PAS Planning and Scheduling Solutions. Mm, another week, wonderful week. Right, we discussed last week about creating the basic WBA structure, uh, and in this lesson, we are going to a little bit more about creating the WBA structure, getting into the final WBA structure, and how to deal with the activity list, the basic activity list, and how do we do this iteratively until we get the our final WBA structure, right? All right, once again, welcome back to PAS, and my name is J Sam, independent expert for project scheduling and controls and delay analysis. Right, without wasting much time, I think we'll jump onto uh, our lesson. Right. So what we discussed in last week, creating basic work breakdown structure. Um, so uh, we created it. Um, we got the basic WB structure, and I have included the link uh, for the previous lesson in the description, and you can watch that if you missed that out, and if you haven't watched that, it's good to watch it and get some idea about what's the approach to create the basic WBA structure. And so let's move on by creating a basic activity list, a high level activity list, for the sake of getting the structure done, and import back into Primavera uh, to the structure that we created, the basic WBA structure, and then we can further work on creating I mean further break it down, the W structure, the level we want, and add activities again and again, and revisit WBAs, and then revisit your activity list, and eventually you will end up with getting your complete WBS. So all right, let's get back to Primavera. Right, if you remember my last video, we created a WBA structure for construction of Road West, and we created the WBA structure having these basic high level WBS nodes, um, like what we have here for general and preliminaries, engineering, property acquisitions, procurement, construction, and construction have been subdivided into utilities, structures, roadworks, testing and commissioning, and handing over. Alright, based on what we have created, and our next approach would be to get a high level activity list by looking at your contract documents, especially going through your contract documents, and that may include your bill of quantities, your drawings, IFCs, and your condition of contracts, your authority requirements, and your tender documents, other tender documents, letter of agreements, so many other documents. It depends on, really depends on your complexity of projects, and your size of the projects, and what type of documents available to your project. All right, and all right, okay. Let's quickly uh, look at our activity list related to this WBA structure, or related to our project PR001, construction of road west. Okay, let's get back to I have created here a simple activity list for the sake of getting our WBA structure done, to do this example, and it's like like something like we just jotting down item by item by looking at your documents, your contract documents, and you're just jotting down your items that you need to do in your project to get your project objectives or get your final product done, right? This is not your final schedule activities, but this is a very high level activity list to understand these are the things that you need to carry out in your project to get your job done. All right, so I have created about, like, let's say 45 activity here, and this is more than enough uh, just to get our WBS completed, um, to get some idea about which direction we are moving and are we moving into the right direction. And if you don't have the high level activity list and you just try to create the WBS structure, I think it may take a lot of time to understand what we need and all. But it's good to create your high level activity list. I'm saying it again, and this is not your final schedule activities. It just we created for the sake of getting our WBA structure completed. And then once you're done, once you're done with your complete WBA structure, then you can uh, create more activities. You can import more activities. So you can add activities into WBS levels. You can bring more work packages, um, and then again you need to create some additional activities as well. So it's sort of a, as I said, it's sort of a iterative process. Okay, so my project is kind of a road project. So this is a activity list, construction of road west, high level list. See what I have done here. I have about 45 activities here. So what I have to do to get this job done within this 1 year time period, I have to do some mobilization, site and office. I need some permits to be obtained, some construction NOCs, no objection certificates from uh, concerned authorities. It depends on where you work, what type of job you're going to do. So it really depends on that, what type of NOCs, and depending on the region to region. If you work in somewhere in the Middle East, and you may end up getting a lot of NOCs from authorities. Some geotech works, some geotechnical and site investigation work, and trial trenches and verification of the existing utilities, preliminary design works, setting out, laying of new utilities, could be shallow, deep, shop drawings, approval, method statements, and some procurement material, normal items, long lead items, and so then you can move to the construction phase, and you have to do some uh, clear and grubbing works, earthworks, cut and fill, prepare some formation layers, then sub base, road base, and then tack coating, prime coating, asphalt, shoulder works, barriers, then land acquisition works, and you have some uh, guardrail installation, sub drains, signage, uh, irrigation work, soft landscaping, hard traffic signals, underpasses, culvert structures, so many structures, road marking, uh, testing and commissioning works, and you may have some handing over works, and eventually you have some demobilization work. So this is kind of high level activities that I have created. So what we are going to do here, we are going to import that activity list into this WPS structure that we created. All right, so how to do that? Right, don't get uh, don't make it complicated, right? Don't try to understand all these colorful tools or icons here. All right, you will, as I said before in my previous video, you will eventually get one by one, and you will have a proper sound understanding about Primavera, and uh, once you completed all the sessions. But we we'll go by step. Okay, that's the best way of learning the software. Okay, so you have to still focus on uh, in your directory bar here, in the directory toolbar here, uh, just focus on the project view, WPS and the activities, and your main menu here. So you have to work with project as of now, uh, and and some of the toolbars in your right hand top corner here. So that's the only thing you need to know at this stage. Okay, because we're just simply creating the WPA structure before doing anything. All right. um, okay, so let's see how to import that activity list into this WPA structure. Okay, so before I do anything with importing that activity list, uh, in Primavera, uh, throughout our schedule development process, there are a number of settings to be done. I can't explain you all the settings at this stage, and it is no point of explaining all the settings at this stage. I want you to understand as we move on. So at least few settings in a lessons we need to do. So this is something that you need to really understand what is the importance of doing those settings when you do your schedule development. It really affects your schedule integrity. Okay, all right. If you are really following these videos, you're watching these videos, I would recommend you to write down somewhere these settings one by one. Even uh, I would rather putting in a numbering order as we move on with the lessons. That is that that is really important. Okay, otherwise you can't get a good solid scheduling structure. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, when you are at the project view here, and just click on the project, your PR001 construction road west, and go to the default settings, and here the activity ID prefix. Right now we don't know our activity ID structure, but we can have some idea about how our activity ID is going to look like. Okay, generally we start with our numbering our activity ID, putting the project number at the beginning. So we can put PR001. We don't know what comes next, but we can just put something for now, like put XX and dash XX. Just keep it like that for now. Okay, this is our default activity ID prefix, and the suffix what comes after this dash, it is, you can put number, any number here. When you can put 100, and your increment would be 1 2 3 4, and you could be 1000 and could be 10 20, something like that. You can put 10, and you can put 1 2 3 4 here. It could be anything, but I think it's always good to have this ID numbering structure. So keep this dummy ID prefix and activity ID suffix as for 1000, and the increment level interval as 10. Keep as it is for now. All right, so we just did that settings for auto numbering defaults. Under auto numbering defaults, it will be really helpful. You have a bigger number of activities inside of Primavera. You can't just do it manually, and it takes a lot of time to do it, and it will be very easier if you do these settings before you do anything with activities. Okay, I hope you understand this. All right, let's open the project again and go to the activity window. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create one dummy activity here. And where do we add that activity? Doesn't really matter. You can add any under any WPS node, but I would recommend you to add this activity at the level 0, which is under the name of the project, which is the level 0 here. All right, click on that. when you want to do an add an activity, you can do it in multiple ways. I would prefer to use these shortcuts at your right hand side, but for the first time I'm going to use right click and click add. So it's added a dummy activity, a sample activity. Alright, but if you see here the settings we did uh, before we start with importing the activities, we just did that id prefix and suffix. This is a example and our default setting. So it's automatically added in when we create the new activity. So uh, that's the usefulness of doing that settings here. So you don't need to add these in manually. Okay. So, okay, you just created this sample activity, and now the next step, I'm going to export this activity into an spreadsheet. Okay, so how to do that? All right, right, in your main menu under file and click on that, you have these two options for import and export. Import is the option that you need to import data into your Primavera in different formats. And first we look at, forget about the import part for now, and just focus on the export and click on the export. All right, and it all right, sorry, it's my bad. Okay, where it goes? Okay, it's on my other screen. I was just wondering where it has disappeared. Okay, it gives you a few options that when you are importing data, exporting data from Primavera into different formats. You can export data as Primavera XCR file, uh, or you can uh, export data as XML file format, and also there is an option to export your data as a spreadsheet, as an Excel sheet workbook. Also you can uh, export this data into Microsoft project. All right, so at this stage what we just need to export that data into an spreadsheet. So click on that spreadsheet and click next. What we need to export at this stage, there are so many items, categories here, export types basically, but what I need at this particular stage, I need to export just to export that activity details only. So just click on activities. All right, I don't need activity relationship now. I don't need expenses. I don't need resources, and even I don't need resource assignments for now. All right, we will need it in our future lessons, but for now we just need to export the activities. So, all right, just click on that next, and what project we are going to export? It's PR001 construction of road west. Click export and just this little box and tick that off and click next. All right, so your XLS template is activity list export, and if you want to modify that, click on modify. All right, you have these columns. All right, I need the activity ID. It is already there by default. All right, I have the activity status, WPS code. See, it's a default because you can't take this back to the main list and it is there as a selected options because it is the default. And you have the activity name. I just need this information for now, and I don't want to keep any filter. I need to export all, but which we have only one activity inside Primavera as of now, but I don't want to create any activity filters and just select all activities, and we don't need to uh, do any group and sorting here because we just have one activity. So keep it simple, and I think this looks all right, the template, and click OK, and then you can click next. All right, so this is your file to export, and it's going to be saved in your C drive users desktop, and your file names is pr0001 activity.xls. It will be saved as an Excel workbook. Okay, right. If this file path is correct, all right, and then you click next. Okay, it says okay, review the information below and click finish when ready. All right, your export file path is correct and subject area is correct, activities, and click finish. All right, right, congratulations. So the export was successful, and then click OK. Okay, if you go back your to your file location, um, here in desktop, I think you have, okay, there you go. So you have this activities list that we exported here. So let's have a look uh, what we have here. All right, good. So what we have here, so what we have exported, okay, we got the activity ID. You remember the one we created as a dummy activity or sample activity ID. Activity status is obviously it's not started. WBS code, for this one it's just because we uh, created this activity under level 0, so that will be PR001, that's project ID, and the activity name is new activity. Just forget about this. This is by default, and you don't have to do anything with this row. All right, we don't have any data. Right, now what is the mechanism that we have to export this activity list here back to Primavera Basics? All right, right, go back to your exported data. Right, you have activity ID here, activity status, WBS code, activity name. Right, what we have in this table, we have item numbers, which is not the activity ID, it's just the item numbers, but we have the activity names. This is the description, it is the activity names, it is similar to activity names. All right, so what is the lookup value between this and that? It's activity name. All right, so similar data field, so this has an activity name, and the exported data also has the activity name. So we just simply copy these activities here and go back to your activity, the exported activity data. All right, and here select this the row below under the activity name column, and just right click and paste all these activities here. All right, right, next. So okay, now we got some data under the activity name. All right, here, and now once you got that activity details, and you can't keep these cells empty when you import back to Primavera, it will give you an error. Okay, all right, so what we have to do, we know by the fact and activity status is everything is not started, so simply you can copy that and you can fill that down easily, because we don't know, we know all these activities not started, and WBS code will be the same for everyone, each and every activity. Just all right, okay, my bad, so just copy and paste. All right, so that will be PR001, and activity ID should be a unique activity, it cannot be repeated, it will give you an error when you're importing. Okay, what we have to do, okay, just drag this one, and I want to keep the incremental interval as 10. So the next activity ID would be 1010. So all right, so then I select these two activities and just drag this down, so you have get your activity ID list. So Now our list is ready. Okay. uh, and do remember, you just have to play with these data field, and you can't delete these data here. All right, you can't delete it here. Otherwise it will give you an error and you can't import this data back to Primavera. All right, so all right, our file is ready, and close this off. Okay, and then okay, you can minimize this, you don't need that. Go back to Primavera and go to your project, which is your construction of roadway. So it's already open. Go to the activity window. All right, so we exported that data into Excel. Now we are going to import that data from Excel back to Primavera again. All right, again go to your file, the main menu, file, click on that, and now you select import. All right, and again it will give you some options to select, and what type of data source that you are looking for to get that data imported back to Primavera. Is it from Primavera Excel, or is it from Primavera Project Management XML, or is it a spreadsheet, Excel workbook, or Primavera Project Planner P3 or Microsoft Project? All right, so we are going to import some data from a spreadsheet. It is an Excel. So click that spreadsheet option and click next. Okay, select file to import, click on that. You know where the file is, it's in sitting in our desktop. So this is the file, PR001 activities. Open, click next. Okay, it's all automatically selected because we exported activities and we are importing only the activity details. So it just will be activities. Click on that and click next. All right, import to, and which project we are going to import that data. That's the project PR0001 construction of Road West. Click that project and click next. All right, review the information below and click finish when ready. So make sure that your file path is correct, your file name is correct, and click finish. All right, when you click finish, and you can see the activity list have been imported back to your Primavera Basics. Right, so after this step, it it may take some time to close this window, it depending on your um, performance, your Primavera version you have. Sometimes it may take some time. It really depends on how fast that your Primavera is working, and the quality of your uh, product, and you know so a quick workaround for this, for now, if this window is doesn't get disappeared, what I'm going to do, I will just, because activity has been already imported into Primavera, not to worry about that. Okay, just Control Alt Delete and click on your task manager, and then you will see your Primavera and end task. Okay, because we have imported that activities back to Primavera, so you can close that task. So again, you can open your Primavera, and okay, so that's open. So now you see your project here, and just collapse all, and if you see the construction road west, and so your activity list have been imported to your WB structure. We have around 45 activities, so all the activities have been imported back to Primavera, and so all other WBS elements nodes are there. right? So our second step is done. So we created the activity list and we imported back that activity list into Primavera. Okay, right. What we are going to do next, before I do anything with this activity list inside Primavera, you can see this because uh, we haven't um, we haven't estimated any activity duration here. It's just the activity list, and we don't have any specific start date or finish date. These all dates will be driven by the activity sequencing, and we have to wait uh, until that step to be completed to get the proper activity start and finish date. So don't worry about this one for now. But you see here the format of date. It sometimes might bother you, like when you see the dates with time. So first you clear these. Uh, okay, what activity columns we need at this stage? You don't have to have so many columns. Okay, so what you have to do, just uh, right click your mouse and go to columns. Okay, otherwise you see here, uh, you can click here columns, right? You can click on that, or otherwise right click and select column. All right, what columns we have? I need activity ID, activity name, original duration. All right, I don't need the remaining duration for now. Okay, keep it start and finish, and I don't need these ones. I just click apply and okay. All right, so I need to get rid of this time because I don't want to see that, uh, especially for now. Okay, so okay, this might be your second settings. Okay, all right, how to remove this time in your data field? I just need to give the date. I don't want to see the timing here. All right, okay, in the main menu, go to edit and go all the way down up to user preferences, and in your user preferences, all right, dates. All right, we are going to work with dates, and you see here now the date is the dates are shown in 24-hour time format. All right, that's why we see the time here in 24-hour time format with the time. But if I don't want to see the time with the date, just simply click on that, do not show time, and close. See, it just disappeared. All right, nice and clean. All right, don't spend too much time on thinking about these dates and all, because we don't really need at this stage. We just don't have to worry about these dates. We'll come to that stage later. All right, our main focus was just to get the high level activity list imported back to Primavera. So we've done this one. All right, okay, now you know if you okay, we don't need this dummy activity. You can delete this one. We don't need anymore, so you activity list. And when you uh, going through this list from top to bottom, and each and every activity belongs to which WPS element here. For example, I know by the fact these mobilization permits, NOCs, geotic works, trial trenches, uh, some preliminary design works. Um, Now let's keep it for the another different WPS node. But these ones like mobilization, site and office permits, NOCs, geotech works, trial trenches, and verification of existing utilities, and that sort of um, activities. So these are belongs to preliminary and general. So these are some preliminary works that we need to do before we really start engineering or construction activities. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply select these activity and cut and go in to general and preliminaries and just paste. All right. So okay, so now these activities are here. Okay, so now we are going to work through this activity list and get it cleared uh, section by section. All right, what is remaining? Okay, you have preliminary design works, setting out and survey works. Setting out and survey works might be under construction. Yeah, we need that in construction phase, not in the design phase, not in the preliminary, general and preliminary. So preliminary design works, protection, laying of this construction, submit shop drawings. Okay, submit shop drawings, approval, method statement, approvals. So these one activities related to uh, engineering. Okay, okay, I'm going to paste these ones here. All right, now you have some activities under general and some activities under engineering, and all right, so now your activity list is getting cleared one by one. So what are the remaining activities? You can see here. So setting out, protection, laying, that's all construction related activities. So you have submit subcontractors for approval, that's related to procurement. So approval of subcontractors, um, procurement of materials. All right, submit material, submittal for approvals, approve material, submittals, procurement of the material, that's all related to procurement. These are subcontract procurement and these are the material procurement work. So these will be uh, included under procurement. All right, I'm just gonna paste here. Okay, what is left? So these are construction related activities, and okay, so we know these are on construction. Okay, just simply copy this on cleaning and grubbing earthworks, formation laying, sub base, bituminous placard, asphalt, road shoulder, noise barriers, barrier walls. Okay, we got land acquisition works here. That is related to land acquisition, and that should go to the land acquisition WBS node. I think the simplest way is just click the land acquisition work and cut this one and put it under property acquisitions here. Paste. Alright, and then rest all the activities except these handover, testing, and demobilization. That's everything else related to construction. So just copy this from here to here, and we're going to put these activities under construction. Put it here for now, okay, under construction, and then the handover, testing and commissioning. Okay, testing and commissioning will be here, paste, and then your handover and demobilization will be here, paste. Now you see here, now at least we have come to a certain stage that we have some idea about in which directions we are moving. Now we created our high level basic WBA structure, we created our high level activity list, so we imported those activities back to Primavera and now put those activities under each specific WBS node, and even here it would be easier for you to select which one are related to utilities. Right, this setting out and survey works might be related to all the subdivisions here, but I copy this one, protection utilities lane, and these ones will be definitely will be utility works, so you can put it under utilities. And these cleaning grubbing earthworks, prepare formation, sub base, road base, tack coat wearing, shoulder. Yeah, this is kind of noise barriers, kind of road structures, guardrail, sub drain, um, um, signage. This is some road works, installation. Yeah, this is okay. Irrigation works, of course, soft landscaping works, hard landscaping. Okay, keep it for now. And traffic signal works. Okay, and road marking. So these are some activities that are directly related to road work. So we are going to include these ones on the road works. And it's what we have here. Construction. So these ones, noise barriers, barrier walls, um, guardrails, sub drains, and underpasses colors is the road structures. So you can put it under road structures. And then what is left here is the irrigations of landscaping works and hard landscaping works. Okay, now you see we have created that basic WBS structure. I told you at the very beginning and many times, this is not a final WBS structure. So that's the beauty of getting this high level activity list here. And then we can, now you're getting a feeling that okay, all right, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need, that is how you can further subdivide it, your basic high level WPA structure into a very detailed structure. So see, you have irrigation works, soft landscaping works, hard landscaping works, and right, it's not definitely utilities, not structures, but it's actually related to road works. So one way is you can include these landscaping under roadworks, but I would like to include these ones as a separate node. So how do we do that? So now if we look at the previous slide here, so first step is done, and second step is done, third step is done, and we are at fourth WBS further breakdown as required. So that is what we are going to do now. So I am going to include these landscape irrigation works under road works, but into different WBS level. Okay, so how do we do that? So we are in activity window. I want to switch this into WBS window. How do we do this? I told you to remember these directed toolbar here, but I want you to focus on especially projects, activities, and WBS. Okay, just click on WBS here and to switch the window from activities to WBS. Okay, you can collapse all, and okay, right, you have these WBS structure that we have created already, and under construction we have utilities, structures, roadworks, but under roadworks I need additional WBS level, additional WBS node called landscaping and irrigation, landscape and irrigation. Okay, when you click on this add button here, it will automatically, now you know this step, you have done this before, you have seen this on my previous video, how to create your basic WBS structure. Now you are further subdividing your WBS structure to suits with your specific project requirement. So I am going to create one more level down from roadwork, so it will be 5.3.1. so that will be uh, landscape landscape and irrigation works. All right, now you go back to your activity window. All right, you select these activities, and I'm going to put these ones. We see here the one we created. Okay, and you're going to paste those activities under landscape and irrigation works. Okay, see, now it's slowly getting into a some sort of a structure that we are expecting. Okay, so you can go again each and every activity one by one, and just have a feel about and what another levels that we want to create. This is one of the example that we had this landscaping and irrigation work, so just put under a different WBS. We created that a while ago. All right, and similarly you can repeat this process and go through these activities as many times as you want. And again, so you can first step would be to get this high level activity list cleared and put these into right WBS levels, and then you can add the next level of your WBS structure. That will be the easiest way for you to do that. Okay, and okay, one more example. So I have mobilizations, permits, obtain construction notices, geotech works, trial trenches. So these are all in one activities, but for clear visibility for other people to understand, I want to put these one into three different WPS node, but within the same level. Okay, so I'm going to create I'm going to subdivide this general and preliminaries into three division, which is the next level. Okay, this is level 0, this is level 1, so we are creating level 2 for this general and preliminaries as well. So how to do that? It's the same. So switch the window to WBS, and under general and preliminaries I need three divisions. One is for mobilizations, and one is for permits and NOCs, and other one is for geotech works. Okay, so go back to WBS, and what you have done before is the same. Repeat the same process. Okay, click on your WBS that you want to add the divisions, and click on the add button, so it will automatically add the next level, so which is 1.1. this is 1.1.1, so that will be mobilization, and I need another one. And you remember how to use these arrows here to make it align within the same level, because we are looking for level 0, 1, level 2, so keep into the level 2, so that will be permits and NOCs, and then another one here which is geotech and investigation works. Okay, right, if you go back to your activity, and so this one mobilization, so there is another way, okay, of putting these activities into the right W. One is select, copy, cut and paste. One is if you select the activity and you just come all the way to your left hand side, and you get this mark here with little white box with the arrow, and just hold your mouse left key and drag it down to the WBS you want. So I just drop it here. Alright, see here. And similarly your permits and obtain, select these two and bring it here. And geotechs and trial trenches and verification activities and bring it here. Alright, see. Right, I think you have some feeling about how you are getting into your complete WBA structure, going through these activities again and again and create the levels you want, and that is how you can complete your WBA structure. You can have a very sound, solid, nice and clean, well structured WBS when you do this process iteratively. As I said before, this is not like something that you can do at once and just create your WP structure, get all the activities and done. Now it's very complicated, and it's really you need to focus on what you have to do in your project, and so what level of details that people are expecting, and what level of details that you need to do your scheduling, right? So I hope you understand this, how we created the activity list and how we imported that back to Primavera, and then how we step by step and moving on to create the next levels of WBS as based on our activity requirements. And I told you this is a very high level activity list, and then once you get this, for example, under utilities you have this setting out and survey works and protection or relocation of existing utilities. It could be in different locations, it could be different utilities. So your next level would be to understand your project requirements, and maybe it is required by your client, or it may be a requirement of your project, and it is written your contract documents, that uh, you have these utilities in different uh, locations or different sections. Okay, so it would be best to create the next level with stations, and then you can go to type of utilities, or next level would be the type of utilities, and then you can go to your stations or the locations as the next step would be. Okay, that totally depend on your project requirements and the way people expecting, and how you're going to answer for scheduling related questions from your project team. That you need a little bit of uh, have some sort of engineering knowledge apart from your scheduling background, and then you need to figure out and how people want to see the information, how you need the information to analyze your data. Okay, I hope you understand a bit. I'm expecting you to create the next other steps and create your final WP structure, but we'll start with our next lessons with our complete WP structure. We'll start with that because I'm sure now you can create the next step. So I'll meet you in next video with the full complete WP structure with the activity list, but without having durations or the dates. So our next step would be to work with our more with our activity list and getting the durations and you know and links between activities. So so that will be coming in my next video. Right, I think you understood very well these steps, and I will be ready for the next video. All right, cheers, thank you.